seen how our children are being brainwashed in the public school system, studying Islam and going to the mosque on a field trip. This is the hatred that the Muslim kids are studying in Arabic in these Islamic schools and the mosques in the United States. It's unbelievable. The infiltration is not only happening through the border and the brainwashing through the mosque, but also we have a major problem with the education system, and that it is with the influence of the government of Saudi Arabia in our educational system. What's been happening for the last 16, 20 years is with the wealth of the oil coming especially to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has been able to exploit a program called the Title VI program that was invented and executed by our government after World War II to basically teach our American kids about foreign languages and foreign cultures so they can be an asset to our government. What happened is Saudi Arabia is using that program to funnel money into the universities, and they are setting up Middle East study departments and political science departments. They are financing them, and they are appointing Arabic professors who are anti-Israel and anti-America to literally poison our children into hating our country. It is mind-boggling. And this is why we are seeing such a rise in anti-Semitism and anti-Americanism on American college campuses. You in California especially, you have seen what's happening in your universities. It is a crime what's happening in American universities. Speakers like me, in order for me to go speak at any university USA, I have to have a full staff of bodyguards. Last university I spoke at was the University of Detroit at Ann Arbor, at Michigan at Ann Arbor. I had to have 8 people from the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and the CIA who were physically in the room, dressed like a SWAT team, ready to take people on with their big automatic weapons. We had a K-9 unit in the room an hour prior to my lecture, 2 police officers standing, 1 right next to the podium on each side, and a bodyguard standing waiting for me on each entrance to the stage, waiting to grab me in case something happens. Just for me to be able to speak and give a lecture on an American college campus. Here I am, a patriotic American, speaking about America and why we need to protect America from a threat against America. And a speaker on an American college campus in the 21st century has to have that much security to exercise her freedom of speech? Our founding fathers are turning in their graves. Here is the extent of the influence peddling that has taken place. King Fahd has donated $20 million to Middle East Study Department at the University of Arkansas. $5 million donated to Berkeley's Middle East Study Department from 2 Saudi sheikhs linked to Al-Qaeda. Harvard received $22 million and $28.1 million went to Georgetown. Why do you think Harvard invited the Iranian president 2 years in a row? Do you know that Khatami spoke last year at Harvard on 911? An Iranian dictator speaks at Harvard, is invited with the carpet rolled out to him on 911 year before last? But that's why money buys everything. 11 million was donated to Cornell, 5 million to MIT, 1.5 million to Texas A&M, 1 million to Princeton. Rutgers received $5 million chair endowment, as did Columbia, which tried to conceal the source of the funds. We all remember what happened at Columbia this summer when they invited Ahmadinejad to speak at Columbia. The fools, and how the Arabs use that in their media. Absolute fools. Other recipients of Saudi tainted monies are UC Santa Barbara, Johns Hopkins University, Rice University, American University, University of Chicago, USC, UCLA, Duke University, Syracuse University, Howard Universities, University of Idaho, Washington State University, Ohio State University, Arizona State University, University of Michigan at Ann Arbor. Oh, surprise, surprise. UC Los Angeles, UC Irvine, UC Berkeley, UCLA, you know the bunch that you have. And what's happening here? We pump the gas, they pump poison into the hearts and minds of our future generation. And we are allowing it to happen. And we are allowing it to happen because of our apathy. Apathy is a disease that is killing America. It's not obesity. Obesity you can treat. It's apathy. Apathy that's going to kill us. because we are allowing our enemies to come into our body like cancer and destroy our body from within. And this is what we are suffering. And this is why, as Christians, nobody knows when the end times are. Because Jesus said, you will never know the time, you will never know how it's going to be. But when you look around you and you see what's happening in the world and what's happening in America as a great civilization, as a superpower of the world, you shake your head and you think, how did we get to this point? We are losing our country right before our eyes. We are afraid to speak up because we will be sued, or we will be threatened, or people will come and do things to us in our country. You know, it was amazing that during the cartoon controversy last year, which was the biggest story of 2006, when in Holland, and Denmark, they published the cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad. And none of our major newspapers in the United States, from the Herald Tribune to the Miami Herald to the Los Angeles Times to the New York Times, would dare publish the cartoons. Whatever happened to the freedom of the press? Whatever happened to freedom of speech? We are losing our freedoms and we don't even know it. And we sit back there and don't do anything about it. And everybody tries to sweep it under the table as if it's not happening. But we are called to wake up. We are called to lead. And this is something we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Leadership. Leadership. Why every single one of us is a leader. I don't want to do things because I want to be like Ronald Reagan or like JFK. We in America, each one of us, is the new legacy, is the new Jack Hibbs, is the new Brigitte Gabriel, is the new Robin, the new Jessica, the new Dan, the new Emil, whatever your name is. Each one of us is a part of the chain of the American greatness that should make a difference for our country. Let's not look at the past and say they were great leaders. Leadership starts with every single one of us. And this is what I'm going to be discussing tomorrow. And hopefully we'll be able to entertain questions. Can we entertain questions tonight, or we're going to wrap? We'll be able to do questions if anybody has questions? Okay, great. I'm going to wrap it and I'm going to open it for questions, because it is so important to answer your questions and to get you motivated to realize and understand. Tonight we're going to educate. Education is so important because education is the armor that we put around us, the armor of knowledge, so we know what we are fighting and we know what we can do. It is so important to know the facts. I was shocked today when I heard that few people haven't even heard of what was happening in Texas with the honor killing happening in our country. But it is important to know. And I urge you tomorrow to invite your friends, because tomorrow's lecture is so important about leadership. Because when we think of ourselves, we don't think we can make a difference. But we can. I am a mother. And look at the difference I am doing in my own way, in my small, itty, bitty, bitty, bitty way. Just to be able to stand before you and speak across country, from the East Coast to here, and be blessed with the honor and the privilege to be standing in your presence. Each one of you who took the time to come hear me speak. Every single one of you can make the same difference in your own way. And I'm going to end on this note. So many times in the last 100 years, people stood by and did nothing, allowing evil to prevail. As America stood up against and defeated communism and Nazism, this is the time we need to rise and defeat Islamofascism. Thank you, and God bless America. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.